The Montaigne Dragon's Back race is the toughest mountain race in the world.
You follow the toughest, gnarliest terrain, and you're probably going right.
Imagine running an ultramarathon. Now imagine running 6 ultramarathons in 6 days, whilst climbing twice the height of Everest.
I just like to push myself. I like to test myself.
It's a disconnect from normal life, isn't it? I mean, it's just you in the mountains. That's something I love about it.
367 runners will attempt to conquer the dragon, but in past races, less than half have finished.
It'd be harder to go back and tell my little lad that I hadn't done it.
I'm just not enjoying myself.
This year, for the first time, there will be an extra day and an extra 65 kilometres for the runners to tackle, making it the hardest ever Dragon's Back race. Race day, Conwy, September 6. The youngest runner is just 20, the oldest 69. It attracts runners from across the globe, but no Welsh runner has ever won this race. Amongst the athletes are the elite, such as Kim Collison, Welsh international Russell Bentley, and Simon Roberts. In the 2019 race, Simon Roberts from Pontypridd was in the top 30.
It's not the longest of the days, it's 49 kilometres, but then it's got that 3,800 metres of vertical gain, so that's the most climb of all the days. It's definitely the hardest day, it's the steepest, it's the sharpest, most technical, it's quite scary at times.
Russell Bentley from Blaenau Ffestiniog has won the Snowdonia Marathon twice and knows these mountains.
Day one is looking really good for me because it's sharp rocks, technical, lots of really tricky descents and ascents, and I love all that stuff. Living in Eryri, that's just what we're kind of used to. Just doing really gnarly climbs and getting your hands on the rocks. There's going to be a lot of that day one. Cwmni Castle, as you know, really exposed. If we get nice clear weather there, that's going to make it quite a fast ridge run. It's dangerous.
The race was first held in 1992 as a 5-day event. It was reformed in 2012, and its reputation has grown ever since. What makes it so tough is the distance, 380 kilometres, and the amount of climbing equivalent to climbing Snowdon 20 times. This year, all of the major summits of the Brecon Beacons have been added to the route, making it a 6-day event, finishing in Cardiff Castle for the very first time.
4, 3, 2, 1, you're off.
On the start line are 367 runners, but one thing is sure, not all will make it to Cardiff, and the first section of day one will prove too much for some. First, Carneddau, 3,000 feet high and bone dry, then Tryfan and Glyderau. A scramble across the spectacular Cwmni Castle Ridge and the traverse of the full Snowdon Horseshoe to Nant Gwynant. The Carneddau, home to one of the last wild ponies in the UK. They have lived here for thousands of years. 300 are left. A tough and hardy breed, just like the Dragon's Back runners. The first section is 25 kilometres and brutal in the heat.
Welcome along to your latest update from the Met Office. The weather is on the change. September sunshine, strong, warm September sunshine on offer for pretty much all of us over the next couple of days, where temperatures are getting into the mid or even high 20s, 27, 28.
The hot temperatures are going to make reaching the first cut-off point at Llyn Ogwen challenging. The rules are strict. You have only 7.5 hours. Some are forced to pull out after just 25 kilometres.
A bit disappointed, but you know, I've done
just done the best I could actually, and it was so hot, felt a bit rubbish, and it's the way, innit? I always knew I was going to be tight on the times, and there we go.
Simon Roberts of Pontypridd and Russell Bentley have opened up a gap between them and the rest of the runners. The route includes Glyder Fawr and Glyder Fach, where there are huge stones scattered everywhere. It takes a skilled climber just to reach these summits.
That was tough, Triple was tough. It's hot today, and yeah, these are pretty serious climbs.
Pretty serious. And how's the how are you feeling about the kind of next 10-15 kilometers?
Gotta get it done. There's no options there, but yeah, I think they're going to be slower than I hoped.
All I prayed for to the weather gods was a dry and clear Crib Goch, so they've given me that, and that's okay.
Land of ancient castles and the world's largest slate quarries, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. At the Pennepass checkpoint before Snowdon, it's a chance to seek shade and restock water. The high temperatures and tough terrain combined are mowing down the runners. The rescue helicopter is called to winch one runner to hospital. Crib Goch, a lethal knife-edge ridge. Leaders Simon Roberts and Russell Bentley are setting a fearsome pace. Leading the women's race is Katie Mills, and she's already got a commanding 18-minute lead over Elaine Bisson in second place. And after an exhausting and extremely hot day in the mountains of Eryri, as they reach the overnight camp, two Welsh runners are in the lead. Simon Roberts only 3 seconds ahead of Russell Bentley.
Me and Russell basically yo-yoing all the way, couldn't shake him off. So yeah, he's a good chap to run with though, we had a good laugh. He knew some good lines, he's quite local to the area, so it was good that he knew his lines and that. Then on to Crib Goch, same, just with him all the way, couldn't shake him off.
Day one was an experience in the castle. I'd never done anything like that before. I was getting pretty emotional. You know, it's been on the cards for a while, so I booked this in January or something, and then to finally be there, you know, I was trying to keep my nerves down, but it felt pretty epic.
And here comes our first female finisher for today. About to dib in. Well done to Katie. Katie Mills.
I'm going to go into the river.
Into the river?
Right now with all my stuff on, except my shoes and my pack, and then I'm going to put my camp clothes on, and then I'm going to find some shade.
Pre-race favourite Kim Collison has pulled out injured.
I guess I've been in this position a few times, and I'll be like pretty miserable for a week or so, and then I'll compartmentalise it and move on and start doing the hard work again, and going, right, what do I need to do to come back stronger again.
As the sun sets over Yr Wyddfa and Llywedd, dozens of runners are still out on the slopes. They have to cross the finish line by exactly 10 o'clock, or they'll be out of the race. Every second counts.
Well done, Stuart.
Thank you.
Just dipping here for me.
Some arrive with seconds to spare, but others aren't as lucky. And the race is over for them.
Thank you. You've done well done. Go and just...
The Dragon has taken out 118 runners already.
Well done.
Are they? Just download your times. Well done.
Well done, mate. Good effort.
At the camp in Nant Gwynant, the runners wake up, eat and prepare for another challenging day. From camp, they climb Cnicht, Moelwynion and the Rhinogydd Mountains. The route is 59 kilometres and climbing 3,400 metres. The weather will be even hotter, 27 degrees Celsius. After failing to drop Simon the previous day, today Russell has chosen to leave before him. Who will benefit from this tactic? Simon leaves over an hour later with the aim of chasing Russell down.
Have a great day. See you later.
And Katie Mills leads the women's race. Simon Roberts ran the race in 2019 and knows exactly what is expected of him and everyone else still in the race today.
The Rhinogs, it's very, very barren, very dry, and also big climbs, very rocky, very sharp. I like that type of terrain, so I'm hoping I can gain some ground on that.
I'm just hoping I don't get lost. And that's really going to be it for me the next 4 days, is just trying not to get lost, because I don't know the environs as well. So as we travel south, it's going to be new territory. I've heard it's not quite as hostile as Ireri, but still, you know, some whacking great big hills. So yeah, I'm really going to be trying to make sure I don't make any big mistakes people have done in the past, get lost for hours, and then the race is over.
Just gonna take it step by step, enjoy the day. Yeah.
Your first time?
Certainly, and I expected it to be hard.
So a warm start to what will be a very warm day on Tuesday. Strong September sunshine, mid-20s, widely high 20s, even 30 Celsius is possible through Tuesday afternoon.
You okay?
Cwmni in the Rhinogydd Mountains east of Harlech is the halfway point of the second day. They must leave by 2:45 p.m. The clock is ticking for each runner. another 80 failed to make the cut-off. With the temperature increasing by the hour, the survivors face a harsh afternoon.
Why did you decide to do the Dragon's Back race?
I don't know. I just like to push myself. I like to test myself, and that's it. Just picking new challenges, something that's going to be tough.
You've chosen the right one then?
Yeah, this is it. Beautiful. Time to go.
Speed well.
Thank you.
I'm Danny, as we say in Welsh.
Danny?
I'm Danny.
I'm Danny.
Perfect.
I'm Danny. What does I'm Danny mean?
Go for it.
The last descent of the day. But Simon will still need to concentrate on every step. At the end of day 2, after a blistering run, Simon Roberts extends his lead over Russell Bentley and is 55 minutes in front. But the heat has obviously taken its toll.
How did Russell do that? That was hard. I think it's because it was the effort yesterday, maybe. What's the forecast for tomorrow?
It is more sun.
Same temperature?
Possibly.
I got another one in me.
And Cadair Idris in the morning.
Yeah, so it'd be cooler. So we could smash that. Yeah. I'll run it all.
You'll run it all. You always do. Yeah?
200 calories an hour, eat every half an hour. I just basically have Cliff Blocks and gels. I've got a pretty strong stomach. So I know that like everything you're eating has got salt in.
Yeah.
And no cramp today.
No cramp. Absolutely. Wow.
As night falls, once more, the clock becomes the enemy. Runners arrive with only seconds in hand.
10 seconds!
But not everyone makes it in time. The extreme heat and perilous climbs of the last 2 days have eliminated 2/3 of the runners. Those who remain will be feeling the strain this morning as they face one of the toughest days yet. By now, they'll be realizing this is not just a test of the body, but also the mind. With an overall 55-minute lead over Russell Bentley, Simon Roberts sets out. The route for him and the others will be 70 kilometres from Dolgellau, over the mighty Cadair Idris, all the way down to the Cambrian Mountains of mid-Wales.
Yeah, still smiling, mate.
Pretty awful after the water support point. Yep, I was not enjoying myself at all.
Cadair Idris, or Idris's chair, is named after Idris the Giant, who was the king of Meirionnydd in medieval Wales. The legend goes that Idris was so tall that he could sit on the summit and look over his whole kingdom and study the stars. It's been said that either madness or poetic inspiration will be bestowed on whoever spends the night on the summit of Cadair Idris. The path at the summit provides less rugged, drier and faster running terrain. But the heat continues to be overwhelming.
I'm Danny.
I'm Danny, my friend.
I'm Danny.
Feeling good?
After Cadair Idris, the mid-Wales town of Machynlleth is the halfway stop for the day, but also provides the first chance in the race so far to restock on drinks and snacks. These will be crucial in helping the runners survive. They will not pass another shop for 2 days. Reaching this checkpoint within the time limit is a major boost. In past races, most of those who make it here go on to complete the race. From Machynlleth, the runners face a long grind up towards the mountain of Pumlimon Fawr, and those who make it are rewarded with stunning views. Russell Bentley is still chasing Simon Roberts. At 752 metres, this is the highest peak in mid-Wales. Smiles and sprints when they see the camp for some. Race leader Simon Roberts has another storming run, extending his lead a further 29 minutes over Russell Bentley. Katie Mills is way ahead in the women's race and is also 10th overall.
It gives you a lot of confidence for the next few days. Good job, mate.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I've had some wobbles all day, and I was pretty good at the end, and I've just absolutely hammered it down, overtaken loads of people, so feeling pretty good. I need some chips pretty urgently, so bag, chips, cry, I don't know.
By the end of the third day, another 21 runners have pulled out. From Ponterwyd, the path climbs again, but the landscape is no longer as steep as the route makes its way through Cwmni. But it's still 69 kilometres. There are no easy days on the Dragon's Back race.
Day 4, it was one of my favourite days in the 2019 race. The hills are more easier on you, they're a lot more rolling, very grassy, very runnable. There's quite a bit of road in day 4, so I'm sure the road runners will take advantage of that to get ahead of the field, maybe.
Thank you, bro. It is something that I'm probably more comfortable with than most, is getting on the roads, although we'll be in fell running shoes, so not sure how much of an advantage I'll actually be able to get.
Yesterday we had a breeze and it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. And today, hopefully rain. I'm a bad weather runner. I love bad weather. Runs in Wales, but bad weather.
On to the details for Thursday, and it's generally a much cloudier day. There will be showers breaking out. Mid to late morning onwards, we'll see heavy thundery showers developing.
just basically in Dragon's Back you follow the toughest, gnarliest terrain and you're probably going right. Genuinely. Yeah.
What's keeping you going?
Say again?
What's keeping you going?
That's a pretty good question, Larry. Campsite.
With fatigue intensifying daily, it becomes even more difficult to concentrate, think clearly, and make the right decisions when looking for any kind of path. Simon is pushing hard, threatened by Russell's speed on the flat ground.
So this is my home ground, yeah. It'd be harder to go back and tell my little lad that I hadn't done it though, so that's what the driving force is for me at the moment. It's all about my wife and little lad, so yeah, great.
Most of the runners reach the support point at Cwmni in time. When running for hours, your appetite disappears. But it's important to eat every hour and stay hydrated. These support points are essential for treating any injuries, no matter how severe. Even the smallest cut runs deep in a race like this.
It's a nice part of the day because you get to see other runners, you get to see the support crews, you have a bit of interaction and you kind of feel pulled into the event again.
Back into the family.
It's really nice.
And one lucky competitor, Aid Fowler, tells how runners helped him.
I slipped down a bank and my shoulder pops out and yeah, a lot of pain. Had to make our way back up the hill with my arm out here somewhere. One of the guys said there's a shoulder surgeon behind. So a shoulder specialist, a guy called Hugh. Then with the assistance of 3 people, helped get my shoulder back in place. And one had his foot under my shoulder, so like 2 were pulling at my arm, and then others were offering me other people holding equipment for me. There were like a lot of people helping me out. I'm massively grateful for all their assistance.
This is a much nicer landscape for runners, and with the temperature dropping significantly, it's possible to enjoy today. A little bit, anyway. At every support point, volunteers help the runners.
So, here we are, day 4, Dragon's Back. Boys are doing it, they're smashing it. Here we have Daniel Wood here. Where are you from, Daniel?
South Wales.
South Wales. The man's a legend.
Cardiff.
Cardiff.
Coming.
It's getting closer.
It is.
No more bonus tussocks.
No more tussocks for you, Katie. Well done.
Thanks so much.
Keep going.
After 60 kilometres with tired legs, the runners will have to contend with 10 kilometres of road. Not an easy feat in fell running shoes. This area was made famous by the highway bandit Cwmni, the Welsh Robin Hood, who stole from the ruling class and wealthy landowners. In the wooded hills above Llandir is the cave that he used to hide in after his daring exploits on these roads.
Matthew Griffiths.
What's your number? 97.
Number 7. How's that, Matthew?
That was really tough.
Russell Bentley has a storming run and is 7 minutes quicker than Simon Roberts getting into camp. But overall, Roberts still has a lead of over an hour. As night falls, runners are slowly arriving into camp. But sadly, one woman doesn't make it in time. Race director Shane Oley is on hand to offer sympathy.
No.
No.
Oh, well done.
Oh, thank you.
You're right.
Yeah, it's a bit too sore at the end, so
Sure.
there you go.
No, you've done really well. You've done really well.
4 days of unrelenting running has taken its toll. Time to head into the Brecon Beacons and another monster day. The route turns eastwards before traversing the 6 main peaks of the Beacons, including South Wales's highest, Pen y Fan, before dropping down into Talabont on Usk. With time to make up, Russell gets an early start, shadowed by overall leader Simon.
Day 5 is a massive day. It's still 70 kilometres, still 3,200 metres of vert. But it's not. It's the terrain you're moving on. Central Beacons, the trackless. There's no paths. So if you can't see anything in poor visibility, it can be really hard to navigate. And then, so if you can get through the Central Beacons okay, then you've got the last section, which is Pen y Fan.
It starts on the roads, so there might be an opportunity for me to get a gap there. And then we're straight into some big hills, the Fans, and then the Brecon Beacons.
This is the worst weather by far that the runners have had to deal with. No wonder that the military use these mountains as part of the selection process for the SAS. But they aren't the only soldiers to have used these hills. The Brecon Beacons lays claim to King Arthur's final resting place. In a cavern hidden below ground is a sleeping King Arthur with his army of thousands who are waiting for the day when they can rise again and retake the island of Britain. The big danger, because of the nature of this race, means the runners only carry light clothes with them, and the combination of wind and rain with the wrong clothes can be life-threatening, especially if the landscape means you have to move slowly, and therefore you get colder quicker. This is when mistakes happen and the danger increases. As you climb, it gets even colder. The wind gets stronger, there's no shade and the fog gets denser. An extremely dangerous combination, especially for runners like these who are tired and haven't been eating or sleeping properly for days. After a long and hard day, Simon and Russell finished together. Whilst racing over the mountains, they have formed a close friendship.
Great running with Simon. I did try and break him on the roads, put the road shoes on, just couldn't do it. He was too quick, so I couldn't make the gap. And then I knew on the mountains I'd be better off hanging with him because he knows these hills really well, and he did know them really well, so it was really good working with him. Yeah. And I dropped a gel, or I lost a gel. Very kindly he gave me a few of his gels, so he set off behind me, caught me up, and he helped me out so much on the Brecon Beacons. I didn't feel like kicking on from there. It'd been a long enough day for both of us, so I just felt like camaraderie was too strong, so my wife will be annoyed because she always wants me to race everything, but he's too nice a guy.
I knew he was going to go hard on the roads, that's his thing, so I had to fight to try and stay up with him. I caught him up once, then he dropped me, and then I caught him back up at the support point. Yeah. And then I think it was at that point then he decided, oh, let's do the rest together. Oh, that's nice. Let's have a laugh.
Katie Mills crosses the line far in front of the other women in the race, an amazing run which sees her place 10th overall.
It was brutal today.
all week you've had a smiley face, haven't you?
You fake it until you feel it, I guess. Yeah. Otherwise, you'd just be sobbing, wouldn't you? Although I did cry today. My sister showed up at the checkpoint.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, she was like, it was like totally unexpected, and she was there. I was coming up the hill, and I was like, oh my gosh. She was like, don't cry, I'll make you slow.
Broken. Yeah. No, that was tough. That was a really tough day.
I'm happy, emotional. Ah, they made it, day 5. I'm so... I made day 5.
Well done, man. You're the boss.
Oh, tomorrow. Gonna be a breeze. I see it like a rest day after this. Oh, I have dreaded for day 5 for so long, ever since I heard about it. Now I'm here and made it. So it's very, very, very happy. And I will soon be back to my wife and my dog.
The final day sees the athletes leave the Beacons National Park and make their way through the valleys. First, it's Merthyr Tydfil, then following the Taff Trail before the home stretch to Cardiff Castle along the River Taff, a mere 63 kilometres.
Day 6 is quite an easy day compared to the other days, but you've got 5 days of mountain running in your legs, so it's not going to be easy. You start off in Talabont and you start off with a climb, but then it's a gradual descent down to Merthyr. And then there's some very easy running into Cardiff through some of the Cardiff parks, and if you're lucky you should get through the trees and you should see Cardiff Castle, which is your finish.
Dragon's Back used to be a 5-day event, but now they've thrown in day 6 so that it can finish in Cardiff Castle, which, you know, is a great idea, but they're not going to just give us a bus ride over there. We have to run 40 miles on day 6 to get there. You know, it's just still a long way, and that's apparently a little bit more gentle, so kind of thinking more like the last day in the Tour de France where they all cycle into Paris. But you know, I remember pictures of Chris Froome drinking champagne on the bike. I don't think we'll be doing that. I've got an inclination to think that we won't be able to have too much of a rest, but day 6 hopefully a bit easier, and obviously you're nearly finished then, so the adrenaline should be able to get us home. So yeah, really looking forward to getting to day 6 in one piece, to be honest.
So, on this last day of this extreme event, these long-distance runners are looking to complete the most difficult mountain race in the world. The toughest challenge, probably, of their lives. Favourite to win, and with an impressive lead, is Simon Roberts. And in second place, Russell Bentley. Katie Mills still leads the women's race with an impressive 5-hour lead at the beginning of the final day. The crowds are gathering at the castle, with families waiting anxiously. Simon Roberts takes the win. the first Welshman to win the Dragon's Back race. And in second place, Russell Bentley. Katie Mills has dominated the women's race since day one, building an almost 6-hour lead over Elaine Bisson in second place. Katie is also 7th overall.
I was so happy I finished with Elaine and Zoe today. That really made it. Yeah, and seeing my whole family here as well.
It's so emotional. This is what it means, isn't it? It's not just a race, it's a journey.
Of the 367 runners who set off from Conwy, only 90 completed the Dragon's Back race.
You get dark points in an event like this, it tests you in ways you haven't been tested before. So yeah, the kids will get you through. You got me!
We've got him! Oh, Russell, it's absolutely... You let it flow, mate, let it flow. I'd be doing the same. And a few words about your fellow warrior out there, Simon.
What a champ, yeah, really nice guy. Absolute legend, he's a rising star. I tell you, he's one to look out for because he's only been in the game a few years. And I've been lucky enough to run with some of the best runners in the world, and he's got what it takes. He's really got some moves, so he's definitely one to watch out for, yeah.
What a journey. I mean, the first one, I was a pretty avid runner going in, so I was kind of learning, but I done all right. I was 23rd. It was okay considering my background at that point. And then I thought, oh, I could take this a bit more seriously. So started training properly, entering more races. I knuckled down during lockdown, and I trained hard and got myself to a top level and got my confidence up big time, so I knew I was going to win it.
How did you feel competing against Russell?
He's what I call a proper runner, so yeah, I'm really chuffed that I could actually challenge him. So I'm shocked myself a bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think that you've exceeded your own expectations doing this race?
Yes, yeah. I think I did, big time.
Do you think that you get to a level where you think, oh, I can't go any further, and then you think, oh wow, I can go a little bit further?
There's always something in the tank. I think always. No matter what place you're in, what dark place you're in, there's always something more you can do.
So how good was it crossing that finishing line?
Oh,
What
I
went
don't know,
on?
I can't find the words. It's just, yeah.
When you
it's
look back.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Highlight of your career?
So far, yeah. So far. Just getting started.
Simon Roberts!
Once you hit that moment, bang, and then all the nerves and everything's gone and nothing else matters then. That's the beauty of this ultra running, it's a disconnect from normal life, isn't it? I mean, it's just you in the mountains and the other races. That's something I love about it. Once it went off, we grouped very quickly actually, and it was just the three of us. It was myself, Kim and Russell. We were the leading group for the first part.
Around Tryfan, so halfway through day one, we lost Kim, but Simon and I, we pushed on together. I said to him coming up to Crib Goch, do you want to just start thinking about conserving energy till day 2? And all he did was grunt and take off.
I think just to get through day 1 in that heat, I was happy with that result.
He pushed really hard and he got a big gap on me, 55 minutes. I never really got that time back.
Even though I had an hour and a half lead, all it would take was for me to have a bad fall or take some silly nav error, and that lead could be diminished to nothing. I said to people I was going to win it. I needed to back that up.
And I was quite happy to say the better man won, and he ran into the castle first, and took the victory, and that was quite fitting.
Signed up and with the intention of going in and winning this race. and I wanted to be the first Welshman to win it as well. So I wanted to be part of that history.